Well, staying with the story of the Mandela family feud of the exhumation of the relatives' bodies, we're now joined in the studio by cultural expert, Professor Pitika Ntuli. Prof, thank you very much once again for coming in to talk to us.
Good morning and good morning to the viewers.
This Mandela family saga, the drama we saw yesterday, makes one wonder, what could the implications be on the global image of Nelson Mandela? We know that global is an icon and he stands for certain values.
I mean, the whole world is just holding up its breath onto the fate of Nelson Mandela. He is a symbol of love, of peace, of reconciliation, of what it means to be a human being. Now, as he's actually lying there up onto the machine, and when his own kind of a family, demonstrates these anti-ubuntu kind of elements where illegal battles are there, instead of dealing it again through either the traditional courts or the family actually coming together to reconcile, amongst them, gives us, as a people, and I think also as a nation, a cause, to be worried, for the spirit is tainted.
Talking about the nation, I mean, we regard him as a father of the nation. You mentioned reconciliation. What could this be doing to the spirit, the collective spirit of the people of South Africa?
I think the quality of the spirit of the people is, it will be very greatly affected. I had said in one of the interviews that it is time when all the traditional leaders and healers and all the religious people to burn their candles or their own paper for the nation to be properly kind of stabilized. It's not just an accident that people are camping behind him and everywhere actually in the world, because something very great is happening in our nation side by side with the seedier side of our existence.
Do you think there's been a failure on the part of the elders, of the Abatembu and the Mandela elders, to try and sort this out away from the glare of the public eye?
I mean, obviously, there is an issue within the African cultures where the mysteries and secrecies are taking place. Families come together, they caucus, they call somebody who is lost and bring them into this. What we call Izibizendlu, this house that should not actually go out. Yeah. But once it goes out, not only outside the family, outside even the traditional setup where tradition is actually being, culture is being used, but seriously actually violated, confesses to something that is far more fundamentally disturbing.
Yeah. Just getting to the fact of the exhumation, from a cultural perspective, we saw the drama, the gates to Mandela's homestead being broken and entered into. He also didn't consult the family 2 years ago when he exhumed those three bodies and went to bury them in Mvezo. What should be happening now, particularly because you told us earlier this week that in African culture, where you are born, your umbilical cord is buried there, or a tree is planted there. We know that Madiba was born in Mvezo and as a baby was taken by his parents to Kunu.
Right. Once then you grow up, once your parents move with you, they carry out a ceremony of taking you from where you are to the place where you are going. And then again, once you get married, you start your own homestead. Then you can decide that you are going to bury your children where you are or where your parents brought you up. The fact that the three children ended up in Kunu, it is because that is where his parents brought him up to. Now that they're taking them around there again, there needs to be other kind of ceremonies.
I was just about to ask, beyond the forensic tests that we hear are going to be carried out today on the bodies in the Eastern Cape, what other ceremonies should we expect to hear about or expect the Mandela family to be doing as they prepare for the reburial of these three bodies in their original graves in Kunu?
What should be happening is that when they take them where they are, they have to slaughter, they've got to burn in impepo. There should be ceremonies that are taking place to say, we are taking your spirits away from here to where you belong.
Okay. Now, finally, from our side, will the Mandela family find peace after this? Because we've seen the reports that things are not okay. They've been at each other's throats, literally. After these ceremonies are done, after this reburial, Do you think it will bring peace from a cultural perspective to the family?
I think somewhere deep down, I think in the Mandela gene, somebody is going to emerge who's going to bring everybody back together, because he could not just be an aberration.
Okay, thank you very much. That's cultural expert Professor Pitika Ntuli with us here on eNCA this morning, looking at the whole Mandela reburial story.
News that moves. eNCA.com.